Hey everyone, and welcome to the Infinite Respawn podcast. I'm Chicken.
I'm Oak Tree.
Griff?
Baka.
Did you almost say the wrong name again?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, did you hear my pause? Did you hear my pause?
Was it
That's
for
right, I did it on
dramatic
purpose. I did do it for dramatic effect. I was wondering if anybody was going to notice.
Yes. Yes.
I'm going to try something different each week, see if
There's a
somebody
timing
notices.
thing that's there, and you messed up my timing. I'm like, wait,
I
wait,
know.
And we
wait.
don't like it.
Got to keep everybody on their toes, right? Got to make sure that the brain is always working.
Mine's not. I'm just telling you now, mine's not. Not today.
Always got to get it working.
It's what it is. My brain says we'll
That's
just
right.
wing it, so we do. We'll just wing it.
All next weekend's big giant holiday, so that'll be fun.
Mhm.
Oh, all right. Well, where do we want to start with the news today? Because there's some stuff. And also a storm on the way, which means we may lose power. Who knows? But,
Yeah, I know. I'm just gonna jump into the Resident Evil one because it's a funny article, more or less, but also kind of realistic in the term of the genre or the Resident Evil genre or IP. There we go. Because people were wondering who's gonna be the person who comes into Resident Evil 9. Who's gonna be the one that shows up and things like that, and maybe you'll get to play as Leon or you'll get to play as these different ones. And they just had their little, which really wasn't that much. I haven't even watched it, but their little video talking about some of the things and dealing with some speculations. And they're like, we can't have Leon as a main character in a horror game, or Chris or Jill, because they're just too badass. Seriously, you can't have them in a scary game because they'll just beat the shit out of the bad guys. Right? Because somebody was like, imagine if Leon showed up at the baker's house in Resident Evil 7. Like, it would be a whole totally different game. He would just beat the shit out of the family. It's like, oh yeah, welcome to the family, son. He catches the hand and throws one back. It's like, all right, bro. I've done this a million times. You want to go? I've been chased by chainsaw dudes. I fought giant monsters. You think you're going to scare me? So, but I found that kind of funny. We might still get him as a side character like Chris was in Resident Evil 8, where he just shows up and helps us every so often or kind of gives some exposition to the story, but I don't think will be playable in a horror game like 9 is.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. You can't put the cool, like, super seasoned badass people in there and make it still... They can't be scared of things, so...
Yeah, it's very interesting to watch this series where the characters have like started off and then they've diverted so far that they actually can't be main characters in the storyline because they're too experienced now. Where in Halo, like, Master Chief has always been a walking badass and he can still play that role, but like, I mean, he's always been kind of the same. But in this game, Resident Evil 2, Leon was cautious, scared, he was new, and then 4, he just laughs at the bad guy, like, it shows no care at all, and he just can't be scared anymore. So it is neat to see them talking about that aspect of bringing old characters back in. And if they want it to be a scary game, you can't bring back characters like that.
Yeah.
So
it's hard to... I mean, it makes sense though, and it also keeps it fresh. Because you do have this, like, new character that's going to be introduced and things. And with this one specifically, she's tangentially related to the series already. So, I mean, like, it's kind of neat to get that aspect of it, too. Where it's not necessarily a new character, but it's not a character you've seen before. She's just related to a character you've seen before if you played one of the spinoffs. And, yeah. So, I like it. I like the thought process behind, and the justification behind why every game is not Leon, Chris, Jill, Claire, even.
Hopefully we'll get to see Claire again. She doesn't seem like she's the totally high experienced badass, but she's definitely had Code Veronica in 2, so she's experienced.
She's seen some things, okay?
Yes,
she's seen some things, and she's never been like formally like trained by like any kind of like police or anything like that. She's always been a civilian.
Mm-hmm. One of the other things that they said is that the original concept for RE9 was that it was going to be an open world multiplayer game, horror game.
don't know about that now.
And that was the thing, is that Capcom always kind of keeps tabs on their community and kind of watches the people in there, and they realized that what they were making was not what people wanted out of Resident Evil.
Well,
So they completely
figured
scrapped that and started over again. We're like, we need to do something different. So now we're getting RE9 or RE Requiem. So instead of the open world thing, hopefully they will take that concept and kind of move it to like Outbreak, so that we can kind of, because that is, I'm not going to say it's an open world thing, but it is a instance based part of Raccoon City where you and like 4 other people have to work together to escape the city. So it is kind of open world where you've got to solve it. So maybe they'll do something like that, but we'll have to wait and see. Got 10 months left, and they'll be doing a couple more. They're going to show off a lot more at Capcom, Gamescom.
I was like, I think you're combining two things.
Wait, is he...
I was combining two things. I was like,
and then I thought to myself, well, maybe they have their own con now. I don't know what's happening right now.
My brain was like, that doesn't sound right. And I was like, why doesn't it sound right? What am I thinking? Oh, that's right, Gamescom, not Capcom.
Just the largest gaming convention in the world. No big deal.
Yeah. Well, THQ Nordic has theirs on August 1st, and they will be showing off a ton of stuff in their game, including Darkseid.
Yeah, you just keep drinking that copium over there, you know. Copium.
No, it's not copium, it's hopium.
My whole thing is, though, with Embracer having to sell off a bunch of their stuff, get rid of a bunch of their things, and I don't know how much they're actually going to show off.
Apparently a ton of stuff. We'll see, but you are right. I don't know how much they've got left, but apparently they've got some in the tank. Darksiders 4, please, and make it Strife's game. Please. Make it like Devil May Cry or Bayonetta. Come on. You can do it. All right.
Not ever gonna happen, chicken.
I've been saying the same thing for years and years and years at this point. Trust me, I screamed when they announced Darksiders 3. Whatever. That's my Resident Evil rant.
What else do we want to talk about? What do we want to... Is there one to pivot
Segue into? I don't know.
Probably
segue
not.
It.
I don't know.
Get on your segue and ride into the next article.
I hate you. Somebody pick one.
Well, Borderlands won't cost $80 unless you go with one of the collectors or something.
But you're not a real fan if you're not willing to spend $80, said Randy Pitchford.
It doesn't even come with anything cool. Like I miss collector's editions that came with like statues and other like little things, and yeah.
They do. If you're willing to spend like $250, you can get Leon's jacket, which I think was like $4,000. Yeah, Capcom.
4,000?
Little lot. I don't know if it was actually 4,000. Let me see how much that was. It was
seems
a lot of money.
Excessive for a jacket.
Yeah, you don't
say.
That
better be a damn good
for a jacket. I can see them doing that, but
apparently there's a $150 GameStop exclusive Borderlands 4 EchoBot Collector's Edition, which comes with a statue of the EchoBot and some other stuff, but not the game. So you have to buy a collector's edition and then also a copy of the game second too. I don't understand why you would do that.
Like, why would you not just
that old meme of like, you know, the burger the burger thing where like they go through and it's like, well, you want lettuce, well, it's this much. You want some cheese, it's this much extra, and just like dismantling it apart. That's become much worse.
Apparently,
it was $1,300, by the way. It was $1,300 for the jacket collector's edition.
I would love to tell you that's more reasonable, but I mean, compared to 4,000, it is. But still unreasonable for just getting a jacket.
I know, right? Especially when the jacket right now is selling for $180 by itself.
180.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, but you got it with the case, and it looks cooler. Whatever.
Is it like a wearable jacket, or did they pull?
Yeah,
like
it's an actual. It's a real jacket. It looks exactly like the one in the game.
I was about. Well, you said case, and my brain was like, did they pull the Master Chief thing with the helmet and be like, you can store your games in it?
I have mine. It's right over there.
Hey, you want to see some games?
I have
You
mine.
like the merchant style? Oh man, it is
man.
so windy
It's a
outside.
tiny little jacket in a case, and you open it up, and it's got a slot just to slide the game case, and that's it.
Ah, yes, just one pocket.
Ugh.
Oh,
Well,
I mean, I guess at least it came with the game. Right?
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
but to get back onto the Borderlands thing,
yeah.
I find it interesting that you can buy the game for $70 on Steam and Epic, but everywhere else you're going to have to pay $80 for it. Xbox, PlayStation is going to be $80, and this is just the regular version too. By the way, nothing special. It's $80. It's $10 more if you want to buy the console version of the game.
That's weird.
You're talking about Borderlands 4?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
PC is
$60.
where you'll pick
60
up
pounds,
Borderlands
my bad.
for it's $59.99. I looked up the conversion. It's like $69, so it's $10 more on Steam and Epic, and you'll be paying £69 for the same version, so $79. You'll be paying $70 on Steam and Epic, and $80 for Xbox and PlayStation 5.
Well, I mean, if you're a real
Same
fan,
version, just
according to Pitchford, because
just the base
a real
version,
fan
too.
would find a way to afford $80. Like,
Okay.
I'm a fan of a lot of things, but I'm also a fan of, putting food on the table and paying my bills.
Yeah, him saying things like that is also part of the reason why I can't even justify spending $3 on Borderlands 3.
We considered it's on the Steam sale, and Chicken actually asked me earlier today. He's like, "Well, I mean, we could get this for $3 and check it out." And I was like, "I mean, I guess we could." Like, that's where I'm at with it. But then he was like, "Oh yeah, that's right. They changed the terms of service to be a bit more invasive than it really needs to be for a single player light co-op kind of game." So.
Yeah, which is mostly the same kind of EULA that they have for GTA 5, but I don't really play GTA 5 either. But a lot of these companies just, if they feel so invasive these days, it's like, bro, I don't need you scanning every part of my computer while I'm playing your game.
Yeah.
Like, I get it's for security reasons, but I mean, this is that age-old fight of privacy versus security. How much privacy do you want? You want to give it all up for your security?
I feel like you also have different versions of that. Like, you obviously want stuff like an anti-cheat software and things like that in a multiplayer game, like Marvel Rivals, Call of Duty, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm playing Borderlands with
I don't need an
Chicken,
anti-cheat system.
Yeah, I don't need a system scanning both of our machines to make sure that he's not duping guns for me or something. It's like there's no competitive ladder or anything like that. It's essentially a single player game. Like, I know you're playing it co-op with a friend, but you guys are playing a campaign game. Y'all aren't, competing for
scanning
world
your
records.
entire computer in order to be able to check and see what it is that you have wishlisted on Steam, in order for them to be able to Epic to be able to see what it is,
so they can sell it to you.
that they need to pay for exclusivity.
It's just
which is
weird.
the reason I can see them doing that on a single player game.
Yeah, it's just
co-op.
Well, it's
a weird
2K
choice.
is the one that did the update thing, but it is a bit overreaching for what kind of game it is, I feel like. But I guess this is just where we are in general. Like, at this point, every game that you want to play, single player or not, wants to install a bunch of junk on your computer to see what you're doing, Gotta keep tabs on our players.
People wonder why, like, games are so bloated these days, and they're like, because I've seen a lot of people comparing like the Steam OS to Windows OS and how the games run, and it's crazy how much better the games run on Steam OS, because there's a lot less to it, and it doesn't require every part of your computer running. It's very smart about its resources and how it uses.
Well,
Microsoft's always got something.
Yeah, but
it doesn't
it's because it works like a console does.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and that's the whole thing. It doesn't have all the bloatware and everything else that goes along with running an entire operating system that's designed for more than just gaming.
Yeah.
It's designed for gaming, so therefore that's what you get. Which is why, it was always rumored that the Steam machine was going to end up becoming a thing at some point. And, with the Steam Deck, that allows that to be able to push forward. You do have people that are moving towards the Linux side of things because of that as well, because it's open source, there's not as much bloatware in that as well too. So, and you can kind of define how you want to set it up.
Very true, and that's why I am not looking forward. I think it's October 14th. I'm not looking forward to Microsoft getting all pissy about having to upgrade to Windows 11 just for their dumb Copilot thing.
And
which
your machine,
I am
your
not.
machine won't upgrade anyway, right?
That's right, because I don't have a certain setting installed, or that setting is not available on mine. So, but yeah, and I really, 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 really do not care about the damn screen recording thing that it does. Like, because that's the big red flag that they've got for that system. It records your screen constantly and takes snapshots that it deletes, but it's kind of like
But why you do
a
that?
camera. It's a driver. It's like a camera, a car camera. How it like records
A
for 2
dash
minutes,
cam?
and then and then kind of it fills it up, and then overwrites the last one and keeps scanning and whatnot, and keeps taking pictures just in case. And they got rid of the system restore point too. Like there's no way to system restore on to a point, because you could make backups and then restore your computer to a certain point. That's gone too. But I'm not entirely sold at all on it. I guess I'm just gonna have to be in the Wild West for a little while on Windows 10. But I mean, that jumps us into the Microsoft stuff.
Yeah, we can transition straight over to that stuff if you want to talk about Microsoft. Also, screw you,
I mean,
Randy
unless there was
Pitchford. But there you
If
go.
there was anything else Borderlands wise,
No, I just really don't like Randy Pitchford.
yeah, I mean it's. And also, I think they're gonna get in trouble too, because on Steam they offered the battle pass or the season pass, and it was like coming soon. But Steam has specific rules for selling a battle pass on there, or season pass, where it has to be stated when it's coming and what's in it, so that people can know what they're buying. And I think there's just season pass with like
I
no
wonder
date
if-
of any of the materials or anything. So
I wonder if it's one where you get a pass on Steam's like protocol until the game is launched. Like if it launches and you still
for
don't have
pre-ordering.
dates.
It's for pre-ordering.
Well, I
You
know,
gotta
but I
have
mean,
at
like-
least some date, and that's it. Just some date. You'll get your content in the year of 26. That's cool. That gives people something to expect. At least they know, because right now you're just giving them money and hoping that the company stays afloat. So, but yeah, that's just another thing we'll see. It's Borderlands, unfortunately. And I will say the other thing that I found in the Borderlands, there's a community of archivists that are trying to revive the Borderlands MMO too, which is interesting. I'm interested. Little low key, keep ear to the ground, see how that grows.
I don't know.
'cause-
With the way that the Borderlands franchise has gone, I just don't know that I need any more Borderlands content in my life at this point.
I just find it interesting because it was a Chinese group that was making it to begin with, and they had it on their website, and that website has been long abandoned since like 2016. And this group of people went to that website to find it, and all of the pieces of the MMO are still there. But it is, to put it in layman's terms, it is disgusting over there. It is full of viruses and links that go nowhere and broken links, and it is like these people have separate machines that they are downloading all this stuff onto, and it is just
Trash.
it's a mess. Yeah, it's a mess over there, and they keep like getting a file, or they'll get some parts of it, and they've got to try to find the other parts, and it's a mess over there. But they're trying, so you do you.
Okay.
It might be a while before that any of that gets seen.
Oh yeah, for sure. But to jump back to the Microsoft stuff.
Yes. Which one? There's 2 Microsoft articles. Which one did you want to start with?
Either one. One of them, Xbox is doing another major cut. Like a lot of jobs, they're cutting them out. What was it? They're gonna.
They're restructuring the
Yes.
Xbox distribution across all of Europe.
Yeah,
And
just
according to
a
one
lot of
source,
jobs.
they will this will result in some Xbox operations ceasing in other regions.
Ooh, really? Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to be the way things are going these days. Is a lot of things are being moved to just machine learning. Like they're just having machines do a lot of the jobs, or a lot of redundancies because they're buying up so many places and so many people, and they don't need everybody that they've already have. They got people that they can use in place of that, so they just have to get rid of so many redundancies, I assume. But apparently it's expected to be big. like a lot of cut. So unfortunate for all of those folks that are going to be losing their job.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, it's over the last couple of years, it's been kind of a regular thing in the industry anyway. And like you said, they've brought up a lot of people. How much redundancy's there?
Mm-hmm. Very true. But the other article for them is that they're working on the next gen Xbox consoles that you'll play in your living room and in your hands.
Which we've already gotten the one in our hand announced.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're just waiting on the other announcement.
So is the other one, you think it more like a streaming thing?
No, I think I think what they're gonna do is I think they're going to do a regular Xbox because people asked them about it. They're gonna have like a regular Xbox console, whatever the next one past the Series X is gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what they're also going to do, instead of going like this time when they went, and actually the last two times, they've had a lesser machine that was like barely played their games. And then they had like a better machine that just played their games. I think what they're going to do is they're going to have a quality machine that's going to be equivalent to whatever the PS6 ends up being. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're going to go one up is what I think they're going to do. So they're going to do like a Series Pro, if you will, to where it's going to be more like a high-end gaming machine, but without the additional cost that you would get if you were building your own PC. And you're not having to worry about, you would be able to play in your living room. You wouldn't have to worry about the bloat from Windows 11 itself because it'd be running the Xbox OS. I think that's the way they're going to go. And I think that's why they've designed this handheld the way that they have in partnership with Rogue, is to create that environment. You'll still be able to stream the games off of Game Pass like you normally will, but you'll still have those options to continue on. And now, whether it has a disc drive or not, that'd be a different thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say
I highly doubt it.
Well, here's the thing: is a lot of people still buy Blu-rays, nowhere close to what they used to, but the quality of putting a Blu-ray in and actually watching a movie that way versus digital still hasn't completely caught up yet when it comes to the quality. We don't have the
infrastructure still. Like, we need the infrastructure.
So it's just a matter of when that's released, is the infrastructure there to where they can go ahead and eliminate that, or are they going to release two versions of that to where it's going to have a disc and a discless and have like $100 between the prices or something?
I still think the future of consoles is going to be a plug and play style, like being able to buy a console and then being able to upgrade your console yourself, buy their parts, or it should just be able to like pop it out and plug in a new piece. Like
so
that, in my opinion,
console.
Yeah, like that's what I think the future, because it kind of lets you have a PC but in a light version where
I think what's interesting what they're doing, I think Xbox is looking forward, and they're seeing what people are doing with their PCs, because they've even stated on the next Xbox your Steam library is going to be available to you, the Epic library is going to be available to you. So these clients that you're in, GOG is as well. So those people, you can game the way you choose, but you're playing on their machine.
Yep.
And so that way, for these people that are like, I'm a PC gamer, but I can't, right now a 50 series card costs the same as what my computer cost to build before. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those where it's like, as those get more expensive, people are going to lean back towards the consoles. But this gives an option that isn't available with PlayStation, because PlayStation, again, doesn't want to look forward. They want to just everybody stay inside their own box, because Nintendo can do it. They think they can do it. And I think that's part of the issue that PlayStation has. For sure.
Nintendo's a special boy. You don't get to do what Nintendo does.
Well, and I think eventually you'll see, it's been teased for years, but I think you'll see Game Pass eventually on the Switch.
I can completely agree with that, with a select catalog for sure, though. But Nintendo would be crazy to not at least allow a curated catalog from Microsoft.
I was very shocked. I don't know if any of y'all, I know everyone here has a Switch, but I don't know if you've looked at the catalog of games that are on, like the digital versions of the games and stuff that were out there. tens of thousands of games now on a fucking Switch. I had no idea until I was playing with it the other day. But some of the games are like not only mature rating, like some of them are hentai themed and things like that. And I was like, what is happening with the Switch? That this is on there. And I was like, this is
games? Cool. Go.
I was like, what?
It's crazy how much the store feels like the Steam store. With like when you get into it, you're like, wow, Nintendo allows this stuff, and they're like, sure.
Yeah,
like, bro, I was like, where did you come from?
I was like, okay, because I was looking in their like great deals section and seeing all this stuff, and then did you keep scrolling down? I was like, okay. Some of the games are a little bit more risque. Okay, got you.
Yeah.
And so I find it very interesting that that's, you know, Nintendo has gotten away from the family friendly reputation that they'd had for years, but and allowing other people to game. I guess they finally figured out people from the 80s when they were playing your games are now old enough to play other styles of games and you don't have those available to them. And then they've put it to where, you know, you've got a handheld version of it. And with the Switch 2, like, you know, like they're going to have to they're modernizing anyway. They've got to figure out what they're going to do with it. So I'm interested to see what Microsoft chooses to do too. Like, are you going to, with that Rogue handheld, are they going to create a docking option for that? I mean, like a first-person docking option versus, you know, third-party ones. I'm sure will exist, like they do with most things. But like a first-party option to be able to hook it up to a TV and that be your, you know, try to be as powerful as you possibly can. Because like Steam Deck, you can. I don't see why you wouldn't be able to do it with that.
Yeah,
I think it'll be interesting for sure. But you know, rumors have it too that they're still actually working on their own handheld along with that Rogue Ally.
Yeah, I've heard that too. Like, because I think this is just kind of their first foray into it, where it's just kind of like, oh yeah, here's our Game Pass, and you know you can play all your stuff on here, and it's got an Xbox button, but it's not theirs that they fully developed specifically for them.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be interesting to see where we go in this decade. We've only got 5 years left in the 20s, so that's right. People feel old.
I don't like you right now. Sometimes.
Yeah.
I always feel old these days. It doesn't matter.
Don't worry. In a couple of years, I'll be like, man, it's just a couple more years to the 30s. Start over again.
Don't wish your years away, sir. Don't wish your years away.
I'm not wishing my years away. I'm just watching them walk by. It's an inevitability. Can't stop it. Oh.
Too funny. All right, what next?
Speaking of time walking away, the end of an era has happened. Nexus Mods owner stepping down after 24 years. He started it up in 2001.
Yeah.
People, almost 25 years ago. It has caused extreme stress-related health problems, which I totally understand. I mean, there are over 700,000 mods across over 3,700
I have half of those installed in Fallout 4.
And she wonders why she doesn't have any room on her PC.
That's not true. First of all,
she knows why. She just doesn't care.
Yeah, I know. Trust me.
Doesn't this work properly? Have you checked one of your Fallout 4 mods? It could be need to be updated.
It's one of those things where you just have to like click. Everybody knows if they use a PC, you got to click the middle mouse button and do the little scrolly wheel thing. She does that and then starts scrolling, goes and like does something for a couple of hours, and then comes back to the bottom.
You know, I have less Fallout 4 mods than I do Sims mods. I'm just saying. So
yeah, trust me, I know. She used to have an external hard drive for all of her sim mods because there were so many.
Sometimes you want the game to look prettier than it does.
There's like 400 terabytes worth of mods.
That is not true. Oh my god.
Like, I don't even understand. I don't even understand how you have that much space.
That'd be a hell of a PC, right there. Just
I know, right?
Of hard drives needed.
Just to run the game with 400 terabytes of mods. You open up the game, the PC just ignites. It's like, oh yeah, you want me to run all of these at once? Okay, yeah.
Okay, and she's got a server room just for Fallout 4.
Anyway, he said that there is going to be the new owners. It'll be Victor, Marinas, and Nikolai. As the trio will be steering the ship forward. And of course, you leave it to the internet. They are going to start sniffing around to find out who these people are.
Well, of course they are.
And they're not very hopeful because one of them, I'm going to see the exact wording. Blah, blah, blah. I can't see exactly what it was. Basically, it was they are steering a more business forward and to help growth of Nexus Mods, which I don't think has ever been the point of Nexus Mods. It's always felt like a library.
Yes.
And libraries aren't designed to make money. They're kind of designed to have a place to where everybody can kind of come and search for stuff and find things that they need. And there's like Nexus Mod Premium and things like that, so you can download faster, which is good. I completely understand that. That's a lot of servers that you need to have to run that kind of stuff. So I get it. Like, I take my time with my mods and whatnot. But it's a little hesitant, especially seeing how some of these companies do when they talk about growth, which is also exactly what happened with Microsoft, because they needed bigger growth, hence part of the reason why they are doing massive layoffs. So
I saw one thing.
The shareholders and CEOs need all that money.
Well, this one is not CEOs necessarily, but I saw one thing where they were like, "Oh, don't worry, we promise we're not changing anything about Nexus Mods," and it's like you don't buy a company to not change it at all. Most of the time,
you still got to pay for what you still got to make back what you put in.
Yes, exactly.
I have no idea what they would have been sold for, but let's say they paid $50 million for this. I don't know if it's even worth that, but let's say they paid $50 million for it. You've got to justify how do you make that money back in a relatively quick way, because most of the time you've got investors that help give you that money to be able to make that purchase, and you got to pay them back.
I mean, I know they do with Nexus Mods. You can do like a pro account, which is a subscription. Essentially, you pay for it. You don't have to do slow downloads. You do fast downloads. You can queue like 3 or 4 things to download at one time. Whereas if you're just using the base account, it's got a countdown thing that can play an ad for you, and then you download the thingy thing, and only one at a time. But they also do have side ads and stuff like that. I'm just worried that now it will be like, okay, well, first we're gonna raise the price of the pro, and I'm sure a lot of people are not gonna want to pay for that. And 2, you're gonna have to watch like 4 ads to get 1 download every time. So they're gonna start.
Or they limit your downloads per day.
Yeah, something like that.
Ugh.
It's like that's
unless you pay for pro or premium or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could. Is there just the 2 tiers, standard and pro?
Yeah, right now it is.
I think it'll be a 3rd tier. I think I think Bach is kind of on the right track. I think it'll be you still get your fast downloads without your ad or whatever for the pro that you currently pay for, and then they'll create a premium. And premium means that you where you could do 4 at a time before, but it was unlimited on how many you do in a day. It'd be like you could only download this amount in one day, whatever that is.
Yeah.
At the high speed. Like you'd still be able to download it, but it'd be like you get 6 that you can download at this high speed, and then it drops back down to the other.
I think that would be a mistake. I mean, I don't pay for the extra one. I'll just do the slow download because I'm poor. But it's just.
But you could be right on the extra ads too, because then it would annoy people enough to where they pay for the pro.
Mm-hmm. I imagine we'll see a lot more banner ads and stuff all over the site anyway. Like just in general, I imagine ads are gonna go up because, like you said, you gotta fund how you bought it, so you got to do something to make extra money off the back end. But,
it's always a little sad to see things like this happen. I mean, because one day Steam may be in the same position as this, and we can all hold our breath that we hopefully will never see Steam go public and force profits, because Steam is one of those innovators, and they do it. They make so much money. They make money hand over fist. It's unbelievable how much money they make, and they're not one of the ones that are maximizing profits. People just love Steam because they're always working with us. Steam Library, the Steam Share, like being able to remote play with your friends, like no matter what, is pretty cool. Having the library, they upgraded the share Steam thing for nothing. They just did it because it was better. It worked better that way. You don't have to pay for it at all either. You just go, this is my family, and now you have full access to each other's library.
So Steam has a really good system going, and one day when someone else gets it, hopefully they realize that. But chances are they're going to be like, wow, this is a really great system. How can we make this even more profitable and fuck it up and then make it go, well, no one's playing this anymore. It's their fault.
Yeah.
How dare they not just give us more money?
I think part of the issue that Steam's going to have, and I could be totally wrong. I think when it comes to the organization of creating the actual client and everything else is fine and absolutely 100% organized, because you have to be, because you're dealing with code. But I think the business side of it isn't as organized. I think it's because of the fact that he's just like, y'all work on whatever you need to. I want to create a good work environment and everybody be happy. And I think that's where the problem's going to come in. Whoever takes over, even if they don't raise any of the prices or whatever, they're going to look at that and want that side of it structured. I think that's where the problem's going to run into.
I could absolutely see that.
Because Activision came into Blizzard and they had like this kind of disorganized style of management, and Activision came in and expected deadlines and changed their entire environment, which changed the feeling to what they were trying to do as an organization. So I feel like the same thing's going to end up happening.
You saw the quality.
Somebody else take it over.
Yeah, you saw the quality drop when that happened, and you could definitely feel the passion inside of Blizzard kind of wane a little bit. It almost felt like everybody who played WoW or played Blizzard back then, we were all on the same ship. And when that happened, you felt the turbulence on the sea. You may not have been able to see it, but you felt it.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things where it was it's like, oh, this doesn't feel like it normally does. This isn't sailing as smooth as it was. And it's one of those things that I think is very hard for people to perceive, where it's like, it may look unorganized, but because of the way it works, it runs smoothly. And if you try to straighten out this side, you're going to shift the looseness to the other side, and then it's a balance that some companies just cannot hit right.
Yeah.
And Blizzard had it for a while, and then, coming in and trying to organize this side kind of messed up the other side.
What ended up happening with Blizzard was the fact that because they were as disorganized,
and then Bobby Kotick's an asshole. And
I'm talking about before that.
Sorry, he bought it and it ruined it. Anyway,
before Blizzard got bought by Activision, part of the reason that they needed that to start with is because the disorganization had caused them to lose income, because their juggernaut wasn't as successful as it had been. And they were wasting money trying to create, because of the environment they'd set up, and they needed more structure. And they blindly thought, okay, well, we'll bring in this company that's structured and that'll help us out. And they told us they would allow us to be able to be our own entity. And then they'd start looking at things going, waste of money, waste of money, waste of money, waste of money. And that becomes a problem.
Yeah. And I think that's the problem, is that some companies look at numbers and be like, this is all bad. And if you look at the people, it's like, it's not all bad. There's a purpose for this stuff. And yeah, it needs to be fixed, but you got to fix it with the people in mind. But they fix it with only the money in mind. And it's like, you got to find the balance.
Instead of taking a year to fix a problem, they're trying to do it in 2 months or 3 months.
Yeah.
Instead of analyzing what needs to be done and make that decision.
Yes,
proper.
How to make it feel right, and taking the time and diligence that it takes to write something like that.
And the best thing can happen, like Lynn, to bring it back to Nexus Mods, the best thing that can happen is somebody comes in and sees the things that need to be fixed, because no company out there is perfect by any means. See the thing that needs to be fixed and then do it in the right way. And what are they going to look at for the right way? The user end of it, or are they going to look at it from the business end of it?
Hopefully the
instead
user
of having a
end of it,
combination,
because that's who supports the business end of it. And if you run off all of your users, who's paying you?
This is why this is the only part that I'm hopeful for, is that he's bringing in these people, is that I hope that each one of them comes with a specific mindset. We need growth. We need to take care of our people. We need to make sure that our image stays good. It's like, keep a balance so that if one person is like, we got to focus on this, and the other one's like, we can focus on this, but we can't forget about this while doing that too. Like, if each one comes with their own specialty in this department and can help balance each other's focus out, then it might be able to keep it right instead of just turning the ship and falling under.
Yeah.
So it's just going to take time. Nexus Mods has been a juggernaut for mod hosting 2 decades and some change. I'm hoping we get another. Yeah, I'm hoping we get some more.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry.
I've been yawning this whole time, and then he started. I keep muting myself during a yawn.
I'm sorry. It's been a long couple of weeks. The other 2 things that we have left, I guess, are similar in
yes, they are very similar.
How's everybody feel about like using generative AI in games? That's what
okay, I'll say this. In the first article, which is going to be the Jurassic Park one, or Jurassic World we're going to talk about, I don't care for it. In the second one, with alters that they're talking about, I don't care because it's a background picture that you had to zoom in on to be able to see in the first place.
As far as we know, we don't know what else they use because he can't he can picture part of it and put it in there.
That's the only issue that was on there. Where people used to use like Ipsum in the background on stuff, and now we've gotten quality of video to where people can actually read what's there. Somebody used a screenshot of what looks like they've asked an AI question.
See, okay, the way that I look at this is that, one, it's okay if you want to use LLMs, which is large learning machine, what we call AI these days. If you want to use them to help parts of your game, so be it, fine. I get it. But at least the least you could do is disclose it. Just let us know, and then we get to make our own decision based on that. And I know some people are like, absolutely not, no, nothing, no chance, whatever, blah, 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 ever. And other people are like, I have no opinion on it. I don't care at all. It doesn't bother me. And then you have people in the middle that are going to be like, it's a game-to-game basis. So, and I'm kind of that. It's like, fine, let us know. You get to do whatever.
But I also think we're reaching, because you're just now getting to where people are having to put in about AI. And I would say when it comes to the Jurassic World one, yes, 100% needs to have a warning on it that it was AI generated for those particular dinosaurs, right?
Or it was scientist, wasn't it?
It was the scientist pictures,
whatever,
and that's it. It was just scientist portraits.
Okay, so scientist portraits. You put it in. It's art essentially. You instead of hiring an artist to do this, you hired an AI to do this, basically. So free work. Versus a background image that, again, if this is the only thing that's in the game, let me make sure I state that in alters. If this is the only thing that's there, putting a background image in the back that somebody had to zoom in on to be able to see that was even there is a little different. Like, it's a placeholder. It's there for just ambiance or whatever. And I get it. People are going to look at the stuff and try to read what people put down or whatever, but it's not important to the storyline. It's not important to the overall arching game or whatever. To me, I don't have an issue with that as much because the art. It sounds like the artist actually was there to design the background and chose to make that decision to put that in versus, and it could be where the artist in Jurassic World made the same decision without telling his higher ups. That they were AI generated, but. How did they figure that one out is what I want to know. The Jurassic World one.
They may have told them, like, they may have just come out and been like, we use these, and then realized that it got backlash from them, and it's like, okay, we won't use that. Because it says, for revising course, after some initial feedback. So they probably told the people when they were, testing out the game, and then they were like, not a big fan of that. It looks shitty, blah, blah, blah. And then kind of got the sense of the community, and they're like, okay, we'll get some artists and then pay for some actual
there's also
stuff.
Sometimes you can tell with AI stuff because AI is not to the point yet where it generates basically 100% all the time fully human features and things like that. So you still get like the weird if you look at it, it looks kind of off, and then you start to realize why it's off kind of vibes. So it may be that somebody was like, wait a minute, why is that guy's nose like upside down or sideways or slightly askew, not in a way that would be natural? Or why does he have 17 fingers?
Yeah. The 6 fingers on one hand is definitely one of those things that is
Actually, it's 4 usually. Thank you, sir.
Well, the
also,
one in the article that got mentioned from another game was the 6-fingered Santa from Call of Duty, so that's probably why that was on the top of his head.
Also, a tip for people who want to try to tell if an image is generated or not is somebody who reads lips a lot. You can't smile when saying specific words because of the way your lips move. And AI or generated pictures will smile during words that can't be smiled during, and you can tell because what they are saying sounds off from the way their lips are moving.
You can also sometimes
remember
tell
that
with edges and whatnot.
I see that in video games all the time because they were written in one language and voice acted in another.
Yes, that is very true too. Well, usually you have subtitles on if you're doing something like that. Well, I do because I can't hear very well as it is.
Well, that was one of the things. One of the complaints too with Alters was the fact that some of the Portuguese translations and the subtitles were not accurate to what was being said.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I've seen that in like anime though, but I don't know if that's an AI issue or not.
Well, it makes you wonder if it's an AI that's been translating those too.
Well, I would also argue there's some instances where there's not some languages don't have a one-to-one parity. Like there are some phrases, specifically Korean, because I watch a lot of K-dramas, where you can't get a one-to-one on that. So whoever's doing the translation kind of makes it as close as they can to what the meaning of the original is. I get that happening too. It's just, I guess it's one of those instances of, is that the case? Like, was it someone who, is Brazilian native but also speaks English, was listening to the English and reading the subtitles and went, wait a minute now, that's not supposed to say that. So, I mean, I kind of wonder about the discovery on that too. Like, is it one of those where there wasn't a one-to-one, or is it that the AI was like, I don't know what this was supposed to say, so I just put in some garbage?
Well, and I guess my question would be too. I think Alters is, if you bought it, I think it's a $40 game, but maybe 50. But my thought process is this too. At what point do we accept the fact that AI is going to be necessary for games as they get more complicated to be made?
It depends on what your definition of necessary is.
Well, I'm going to use translation for an example on that one. So if you're using an AI to do a translation from, let's say, English to Portuguese, right? Then you're using that AI to do it versus hiring a person that speaks both languages and has to physically type all that out. It is more economical for you to do that. Is it going to be always right? No. But here's the thing. If you hire that person, the price of that game just went up some. And so, now when you're in an era where we're now at $80 games, if the game's $110 because you're dealing with a high quality, let's say the next Elden Ring game, like massive Elden Ring game, full scale main Elden Ring game, that one becomes $110 base game. People are going to throw a fit because they hired somebody for every single one of those parts. So at what point do we say this should be acceptable as you don't have to put down, it was done with AI?
But I think you're getting into a socioeconomical paradoxical conversation eventually anyway, because once you're on that slope, you transition it to everything across every industry. At what point is acceptable for AI to do this? At what point do you replace people with that? Okay, well, at what point do we have people who can't afford any of the products that those AIs are making anymore, even if it does make it cheaper to make it with AI? Like, you eventually...
Translators are obsolete.
Yeah.
Like, now we got no more translators. That job is completely gone.
And now you make every game that's made in the United States or made in England or somewhere like that is all written in English. Every one of them that's in Japan is done in Japanese. And they'll hire one person to do an English translation because we're the biggest gaming market. Mm-hmm. And then you eliminate the rest of the translations. I'm
not saying I have the answer, and I'm not saying there's a right or wrong here. It's just,
But that's the thing
That's
is like
opening Pandora's box.
Because AI is not going anywhere, so that's
No,
what I'm
it's
saying.
not.
Pandora's box already been opened, so it's one of those where at what point are gamers as a whole going to accept the fact that certain things, because we all know this because we've covered video games long enough, gamers are horrible customers because they want their cake and eat it too, and they want that cake as cheap as possible to be able to eat it. And the problem
But
is,
better not taste cheap.
The production that they're asking for, the quality of production that people are asking for, is going to cost money. GTA 6 is coming out.
It's gonna be $80. Period. Like no doubt.
Game's a minimum of $80, and they could sell it for $100, and people would still buy it. But as soon as they open up that door for $100, somebody else is going to go into it. Okay, well, why'd you have to do it? Okay, well, we hired people to do all the regular art stuff that we did. We paid them a living wage. We paid them the wage that they needed to do. We made sure that they didn't work. We didn't do crunches this time. Blah blah blah. We did all the things that everybody's going to complain about in the industry that need to be taken care of and done correctly. All right, we did this as ethically as possible. We built this video game, right? And that's why it cost $110. What? Okay, but it's $100. I can't afford that.
But
okay.
I think that we've also for a long time been spoiled for choice because every game comes out in a range between like 10 and 60, and there's like 100,000 games. And especially if you're like, I've gotten to the point with we do the podcast, and I felt really pressured to keep up with every single game. There's so many, and I don't have the fucking time and money, y'all. I can't do that. But I think that it turns us back to an earlier point in gaming where you had to pick 1 or 2 games a year that you were going to focus on and be excited about and save up for because they were important to you versus I have to buy every game that comes out, which is really going to stress out things like your streamer communities who also feel that high pressure to play every game as it comes out. And that's it's more and more expensive. So especially if you want the good ones, like, how do we work out in our brains? Now I have to be more judicious and fastidious with my choices on what I'm going to play.
Well, they're even changing how that works too. So like the way, like I'll give you Game Pass. Game Pass has day one releases, right? So what they do, they extended when day one was. So if you buy the game on Steam that's an Xbox game, 4 days in advance, you get access to that. So basically 4 to 5 days in advance, you'll have some of these games being played before they're available on quote unquote day one.
Yeah.
Actually, on my
new day one, pre-day one.
Because I did that with Silent Hill. I paid the $10 extra to get it on the day because I had requested off because I thought that was the day one. So I had already made my plans for day one and it wasn't. And I was like, damn it. So I spent the extra $10 to get the 2 days, which is a slippery slope as well because now you're paying, how much can we get out of you extra to play it a few days early kind of thing too. But I do think that's an interesting caveat. What do you do about because Xbox with their Game Pass, if it's on day one, you don't have to spend the $80 anymore.
Yeah, they've already had games that they've released recently that are supposed to be day one Game Pass. But if you paid the regular price for the game, so like let's say $60 was the price of the game or $70, you paid that amount for the game on Steam, you could play it then. But you had to wait 4 days on Game Pass to be able to pay for free. Well, as part of your package.
Yeah, as part of your pass. But to get to the whole paying other people and then having to raise the cost of games is like that's part of the problem is that companies don't ever want to sacrifice any sort of profit to make it. And I get it, companies need to make profit. But if the difference between making $100 million off of a game instead of $90 million, you can hire one person to translate your game, make 90 million instead of 100 million. And that's not something that's even thought of in something like that. It's like, okay, you're still making 90 million and you lose 10 off of it because you hired people instead of using AI. It's like, where's the profit margin in using people versus AI? And is it worth it against the people?
Well, and here's the thing too. Gaming companies need to lower their expectation.
Oh yeah,
That's part of the issue you run
I
into.
would argue box office for movies also sometimes.
I would argue every company needs to kind of lower expectations for almost everything, but that's capitalistic society, and
some of the games that have been released recently have sold like 10 to 15 million,
and it's not good enough.
Sold. And then that AAA company, it's not good enough, even though it was profitable and could
profitable.
They canceled the sequels. The new Dead Space, that's a great example of that.
Yeah, I was about to say there was something recent that
it didn't sell. The new Dead Space did not sell enough for them to justify a sequel to it. It was like extremely popular, but it didn't meet what they wanted it to hit to be able to do that, and so therefore they wouldn't do it.
Yeah, and I think that gets down to the problem.
And Dead Space 2 correct me if I'm wrong, but I've heard this from everybody, and that's supposed to be the better of all the Dead Space games, the second one.
Yeah, I think the sequel was the better one, because the first one was great and the second one was greater. Third one was it was like co-op. It was
third one was EA getting their hands dirty.
yeah. But I mean, we as podcasters and people who have been in the gaming community for decades have watched this kind of slowly evolve over time, and I can't say, like, using AI is a little worrisome going forward, because at some point there's almost going to be nobody's hands in making games. It's going to be programming computers to make your art, to make your voices, and to things like that. And they're still going to cost, like, you say, you hire somebody and then they have to make it $110. They're going to hire nobody and still make it $110.
Yeah. Just
they're not going to lower the
cost of games these days.
They're not going to lower the price of games. They're going to keep it the same and make the profit margin bigger.
Yeah. Sadly.
I think for a lot of companies, you're not wrong on that. Yeah, I think for a lot of companies, you're not wrong.
And that's what I'm so worried about going into this next decade or two of game production, is that eventually, like, the quality is going to go down, the price is going to stay the same or go up, and more people aren't going to be a part of it. It's like it's sad to watch in real time, but I mean, we've watched a lot throughout the years.
Yeah.
But I think that's why your indie games have become more popular too.
Hell yeah. Like, it's unbelievable. That game that came out, Peak, it was on sale. It sold like 2 million copies in like 3 days. It was like $5 when it was on sale. And everybody was like, I'll get it. And it just blew up. Now these people have so much money, they're like,
what do I do with this?
I have no idea what we're doing with this. Like, it's just like Pal World did when it came out. And it made like so much money. Their bank account was like, where did this come from? And it's like, good, you guys are investing into your game and kind of building your community and making something grow, instead of just like stuffing more and trying to maximize profits more and more. They're just passionate about their game. Larian Studios, same thing. Baldur's Gate 3 came out, boom. One of the greatest games ever made. I mean, it's up there in the upper echelon of great games. So it's going to be interesting watching the future grow from this point onwards. I know some companies are already like foaming at the mouth, waiting to get rid of everybody on the production team
and do full AI games, because you're not going to know the difference, and as long as it gives you what you want out of it, you don't care. And
I mean, we're 10 years away from that, definitely.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, I would be surprised by 2040 if we don't see a fully developed AI game. Like, it will be entirely from start to finish.
And that's the problem, is AI is becoming
machine generated game.
It's what coding used to be. Like, you have all the different languages that are out there for coding, and now I can literally go on to ChatGPT on my phone, and I can go, I need you to write a code that will do this, and I can plug it into whatever, and it'll do it.
Yep.
And it's like, so it's like, it's now, you'll have, how to operate AI properly classes, basically, in advertising, in coding, in whatever, and then, do it that way. But, or you just steal off the internet, like, and for the art from Twitter, and like Marathon did, and then none of your game's never going to release. So because of that, yeah,
I'm pretty sure Bungie is sitting over there going, God, I'm feeling like Concord again. Oh God, no matter what we do. It's like, yeah, bro. You
Well,
kind of burned a
right
lot
now,
of bridges.
and that game is indefinitely on hiatus right now, so they're not really sure what they're going to end up doing with it. That, and they said it was because of feedback, but
I mean,
I think it's partly because of feedback, because you made a poor decision on what kind of style game you're going to make Marathon into, but at the same time, you stole somebody's artwork and design.
Yep.
Rough stuff, yo. Rough stuff.
Sad. I'm kind of interested on Ollie's take, because that would directly affect him. Like, if his job was completely outsourced to AI, what does he do?
Yeah.
What now?
Yeah, well, and that's, but I think that's going to be a issue. A lot of issues with digital, and it's going to be to where there has to be regulation set up. Whoever they
Protect
like
the people. We've given up on that years ago.
No, from governments. Europe has looked up, is looking into how to regulate AI better. We had set up some regulation during Biden's administration. That's changed a little bit since then. And I'm sure Japan will be looking at it too. And I don't know. China's probably okay with it as long as it's being used anywhere but in their own country. But I don't know, because they've got one of the best AI out there that was done for dirt cheap. So,
because it used other people's algorithms and whatnot.
I mean, all of it. That's what AI does. AI does all of
it. Learns from others. Yeah, that's pretty much. It's like, oh yeah, look at how smart yours is. Thank you. Now we will work on this. Oh, look at how much better ours is now.
Yeah, you get it. You specifically set it up to basically search the internet for whatever. So it's going to learn. And then here's the thing. If let's say that all of us used the same exact AI, okay? Bob's AI. We used Bob's AI. In Bob's AI,
damn it, Bob.
I plug in a recipe for a lasagna, right? Griff posts in that she wants new editing techniques for audio. Chicken posts in there that he wants all the starting quarterbacks for every year for the Lions. And then Baca wants the most popular Warhammer models to paint. Okay, so we all did different things, right? At some point, I'm going to put in, because I don't know anything about Warhammer, I'm going to put anything about Warhammer, and I'm going to get a similar answer because he had all of his questions that he asked. And then, somebody's going to write in something about spaghetti, and that lasagna recipe is going to pop up because here's an option as well, blah, 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 to everybody. And everybody's sharing that same information because it sucks in all that info.
I will say, as somebody that does cooking and reads all of the random recipes, you can figure out real quick. I know we were talking earlier about like AI. How do you figure out if the picture? You can figure out real quick if an AI wrote your recipe, because some of that stuff does not make sense, and some of those steps are definitely out of order.
I've done quite a few recipes that you can ask the AI. The AI is not writing your recipe; they're searching the internet.
Yeah, but there's also generative recipes too that I have seen. People are like, "Oh, this is my grandma's," and it's like, I don't think
no,
that's
it's not.
No, I don't think it is. I don't think that's true.
Grandma AI.
Yeah.
Grandma machine.
I don't know. There were some really crazy recipes back in the day.
There definitely were, but I definitely can tell. Like, I don't think that your grandma said to put a pound of Crisco into your spaghetti. I don't think that anybody said that.
Yeah, there's some wild shit out there.
You'd be surprised how popular Crisco was back in the day.
A pound of Crisco
in a spaghetti?
Spaghetti. No.
Sure, why not?
All right, you make it and then bring it on the podcast.
I don't have the full recipe, sir, so that's not going to happen.
All right. Just put a pound of Crisco and make spaghetti.
You make it and then spend the next weekend in the bathroom. So enjoy that with that pound of Crisco going through you.
Everything slides out of you. That's
yeah. Oh God.
What'd you have today? Doesn't matter. I was borrowing it anyway.
Just borrowing it. It can't even absorb it either. It just slides right through. It's like a water slide. Oh God, gross.
Do you have any digestive issues? No digestion.
Yeah, none.
I've coated the inside of my stomach. It's now a slip and slide. And it will be for approximately the next month, thanks to that pound of Crisco in my spaghetti.
You eat some corn and it just comes right out immediately.
Okay, well, this took a gross turn, and I'm sorry.
It's so good, though.
Oh, gross. Don't ask the AI to write your recipe.
No,
Find
no,
a
no.
recipe is maybe the words you want.
Mm-hmm.
That might help.
Set up plans for like meal planning and stuff like that's fun because they're gonna pull out meal plans from other websites.
Yes. Anyway.
These are the ingredients I have in my refrigerator. Crisco is one of the ones on the list, so they made sure it's paid.
Yeah, lots of Crisco.
Anyway, that was all of the news stuff, and maybe some philosophical conversations that we didn't expect to start, but here they are. We want to talk about some stuff that we've done, or any stuff like that.
I can say what I did this week. So I haven't done a whole lot of. I mean, I've done some gaming. I've played some altars and Mario Kart World Tour.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Mario World Tour. But main thing I did this week is on Wednesday, one of the local restaurants here in town had asked me to do the trivia night for video games. So we set it up into 3 different. They do 3 rounds, 6 questions each. And so we did what they considered classic gaming, which hurt my heart so bad, which was pre-2000.
Okay.
Makes me feel real old, but I made it classic. I put it into the 80s, 70s and 80s and a little bit, maybe a little bit of 90s, but for the most part now. And then the next section was 2001 to 2010, and which was a fun category that was there. And then one of the things that the gentleman that normally does the trivia did, he actually does like whole Photoshop, what's the word I'm looking for? PowerPoint presentation for all the questions and answers and all that stuff. So he put behind every question was a different zombies map from Call of Duty, because we had 0 Call of Duty questions. Because like, dude, I'm not doing Call of Duty questions. It's not going to happen unless it's, what year did Call of Duty originally come out, or
wasn't
something
that like 2001?
that.
So you couldn't even done a question about it.
I don't know when the first one came out, to be honest.
Yeah,
with
I think
you.
it was.
He's Googling
GameCube.
it right now.
I'm pretty sure it was GameCube was the first one.
Was it?
I don't know.
Was it? That face said no.
No, I tried to look it up. 2003.
2003.
Oh.
See, it would have been in there, the middle one.
Yeah, 2003.
And so he had that as a bonus question. If you could say what zombie map that was on there behind each one of the questions. So that was neat. And then the final questions were from 2011 to modern day. And it was pretty awesome. Like we had a good turnout that was there. A lot of people had a good time. I felt like the questions were fair. You never know when you do a lot of this, how much knowledge everybody else has versus what you have. And since I'm one of those people that have random facts stuck in my head all the time, it was one of those where I really wasn't sure what other people knew. So we kind of played off of each other a little bit to when we were doing the questions to figure out what we needed to do. Because some of them he was like, I have no idea who that is. I was like, well, now you do. But some of the questions were, they were easy questions for I think for this group, which one would be like, how many Pokemon are in the original Pokedex?
Chicken, if you don't know the answer, I'm disappointed.
150 unless you're counting Mew too, or Mew.
He's counted. It's 151.
Okay.
We set that one up as a multiple choice question just because you're gonna have people that have never played Pokemon that were there. And then, but we did it like as 101, 121, 151, 131, something like that. So people kind of figure out there. One of the questions too was, how many Zelda games are there in the main part of the series? Like how many are considered part of the main part of the series?
Holy shit. How many
No, you can't Google it.
I'm not okay, then I'm gonna guess. Let's see. What year? Oh my god. I'm guessing 19.
Then they're telling people no phones, and you're over here like, oh, just Google it while I'm here on the podcast.
I'm guessing 19. Well, I ain't part of your game show.
I'll give you the four possibility answers: 9, 19, 29, 39.
I guess 19, bro. Oh, my guess was
9.
already on the multiple choice.
You say 9?
Yeah, I think it's 9.
I know.
It's 29.
Damn.
Damn, 29. Okay. I thought I knew it was going to be high. They've
Yeah,
done
it's
a
Definitely
really
gonna
lot.
have
high.
to
I was very shocked.
Yeah,
when
I
first
wasn't
opened them.
counting the handhelds. I started going through
Just
Yeah.
the ones
the,
on main
the main
console. I
consoles.
could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then so we had that one. We had some one of the ones that's one of my favorite questions, which no one got right. No, two people did get right. Two groups got right, which was Nolan Bushnell, the creator of Chuck E. Cheese, was also the creator of what video game company?
Oh my god. How do I know this, but I can't remember what the name
See,
of
that's what I
But
said.
I remember.
wasn't it Atari?
It's Atari. That's
okay,
correct.
I was like, I know it was one. Good job. Bud. I was like, I know I've heard this
He
before. I
actually
can't remember
got
the
that
name.
when they basically retired him as part of his severance on that. They allowed him to purchase Chuck E. Cheese from Atari because he had started it while he was still with Atari,
Oh, nice.
and he bought it from him for $500,000, and then went out and that's what he did. That was his love child, was Chuck E. Cheese. And part of the reason that Chuck E. Cheese exists is because video games were considered to be part of the mafia at one time, arcades. And so it allowed them to be able to get into markets where that was the case, because they could say, no, we're opening up a pizza joint that just happens to have arcades. We're not opening up an arcade that serves pizza. And so,
okay.
yep,
Interesting.
which was pretty brilliant. Yeah. So that's what I did,
Ah.
you know.
I haven't done a whole lot. I just haven't had time really. And I've been exhausted too, but I've been playing a Baldur's Gate game with a friend of mine. Okay, first of all, as we all know, it's well discussed and understood around here that I'm an idiot sometimes. So I picked a paladin to play for this because I thought, I've never played paladin before, and that means that we're definitely going to have a good guy campaign. Okay, well, I already broke my oath because I was being too good, so I had to pick a different oath. And now I can't do a lot of the talking because we have to agree to some things sometimes that I should not agree to as a paladin. So that's been a fun tonal shift, but I did get to do a fight in a very different way than I've ever done it before because I didn't know there was an alternative method. So that was fun. It was the fight in the Underdark, and that was, so far we're still alive. Okay? We're still alive, and we finished
That's good.
pretty much everything in the Underdark, including Grimforge, and that was not easy, especially since my friend also did not prepare well for that fight. He's so on top of things all of the time. He's a min-maxer, and I am not. So I just expect
What's he running as?
He's running a mage, and it's like a tanky mage build, so that he can take
I thought
a
he was
lot
going
of damage.
sorcerer.
Well, sorcerer. It's sorcerer or wizard. I can't remember which one he actually is.
You better watch your language. It's D&D people around here. There's a difference
Mage
between
means that
wizard
he's
and
a
sorcerer.
caster, and you know that that's the case. So
Yeah,
that's
so
the one I
so
use when I'm not sure which one he's actually playing because I can't remember. I think he's doing wizard because I think that he is able to just pick up scrolls and learn them if he has the money for it. But he didn't have an appropriate spell for the fight once we also didn't know, because everything on honor mode has boss fights have a legendary ability that they can do that they don't usually have, and I don't think either one of us knew what that legendary was going to be, but he could move faster than usual. And the Grimforge fight's one where you need him to stop in a certain place so you can hit him with a big thing from the ceiling. If he moves way faster, you have to figure out how to make him not move so fast. We were not prepared for slowing him down, but we're still alive for now, so that's great. And so far I haven't upset the divine to break my oath again, but I'm sure it's gonna happen. I'm sure I'm gonna do something that I think is the right thing to do.
It's easy enough to you could just pay the oath breaker to fix your oath.
I wonder if it gets more and more expensive. I think the first time was like 100 gold. Okay.
I think there's a cap on it though. I think it's like 5,000 after a certain point.
Okay, well,
It's very expensive if you keep breaking it, but he'll always come back and hang out. Be like, "What's up? You fucked up. You want me to fix it?"
He tries
I'll
to
go
make
it
you
right.
into an Oathbreaker too. He's like, just let the darkness take you. And I'm like, I'm literally playing the opposite of the darkness. What is wrong with you? Get out of here.
The dark side has cookies.
Well, no,
That's
the
true.
dark side has a cool face
Also
mask,
bacon.
though. I mean, sorry, but it's been a real learning experience this time of things that you can do very differently because you have to. Also, don't play Paladin for your honor mode run, because you did.
You did.
It's true. That's like my most impressive thing that I've done this past couple of weeks. And Chicken's gonna get a game to entertain our child with, but it's an old game, so everybody should be proud of him.
Oh yeah, for the Steam sale, if you don't own it, just buy it and put it in your damn library. The Crash Bandicoot Insane trilogy, it's like $4 for all 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
It's just too cheap, too much game at that price point. Like, I mean, it's like, yeah, and he likes to get into those tablet games where he goes back and forth, which I've also started instilling him that those are tablet games. I'll get him to play real games soon, because tablet games really aren't real. They're just, they go, there's no skill in that. Like, yeah, it helps your timing and whatnot, but there's
puzzle
nothing
games
to
that
it.
he's been
games,
playing.
the ones he's playing, but they're
Yeah,
not
the
really
one
that-
that uses his brains, the puzzle solving ones, yeah, those are fine and whatnot. But he,
Well, they
he likes
make
to
ones where
cause
the
little
controls
running.
are actually on the bottoms of the, like it looks like
Yes.
a controller.
Yeah, like those ones I can give him to, but I like that he has an idea of like tablet games are different than like computer games are different from console games. Like creating distinctions in his head, which is good. Not everything is supposed to be the same. But yeah, I'm going to get him a controller, and because Crash Bandicoot kind of plays that similar running forward style and then dodging left
Sometimes
and right.
running back
so-
at the screen.
Yeah, exactly. So it kind of is a nice little mix of what he's already experiencing, but in a different context. So, and it'll force him to use both his hands because his hand dexterity isn't super good, but he's only 4. But it never hurts to start working on your dexterity.
Yeah.
He's little.
I'm
Takes
kind
a
of excited to
long
see what he'll
time.
think about it. When
Mhm.
when Chicken's like, yeah, Mommy used to play that game too. He was not impressed. So I'm like, all right, fine. You try it and see how much, let me know how it goes. Just let me know if you're still unimpressed, okay?
I never really got into the Crash Bandicoot games.
Oh,
I
those
love
are
I played
fun.
him a
Crash.
bit. But
Like I tried them and played them, but I just don't really care for them.
oh, and I also want to get him Spyro too. Spyro
That
the
one's
Dragon.
on
he
sale
lo-
too. Didn't I just see
Oh,
that?
is
earlier?
it? I didn't know if it was on sale. It hasn't been on my thing, but
Maybe not. But I thought I
think
saw
it's
it.
Gear the Dragon. Is that the big one?
No, the Ignited trilogy is the 3 of them.
Well, wish list.
$13.99 right now.
Oh, Reignited trilogy.
Mhm.
But yeah, he loves him some dragons, and he
very similar
loves
to
him
Dinosaur.
some gems. Like he loves collecting shinies. So him running, and he loves fire and lava and things like that. So to me, it's like Spyro is the jam. Okay, it's only $14, so maybe.
And that's
maybe.
the HD. So
Yep. So, but yeah, I think he would very much enjoy these style games, and he gets to play on the computer too. So, trying to get him comfortable around technology. These kids are so different from what we grew up with. So, technology is a mainstay for them.
Yeah. You just gotta
Yeah,
learn to
just-
use more than just the tablet.
Yes, I want him to. Controllers are fantastic to build dexterity. Fantastic. So, it's definitely something I want to work with him with. He does karate, so he's learning more dexterity and whatnot. Being physically capable is very important.
Yes.
this is what it was. When we were studying for the trivia the other day, it was Spyro was originally green in color,
I'm glad
but
he's
because he
not.
would blend in with the grassy colors, so dexterity, and his original name was Pete, but they had problems with trademark on that.
Pete the Magic Dragon.
I wonder why.
Or Pete's
The dragon, which is already a name.
Ugh. I'd much prefer Spyro, and I like him being purple.
Yeah. I like him the way
Same.
he is.
I feel like it would not have been as successful if they'd gone with Pete the Dragon that was green that you could barely see in the grass.
Yeah, no, I love Spyro. Spyro's a great name too for a dragon.
It is. And I've noticed,
Good.
I'm just going to aside this a little bit so that I can go ahead and throw Baka in, because I've noticed that he's been playing a lot of Among Us, and we played it as a group the other day. This dude won't let you do anything. You don't know how to play the game? He's like, I do, watch this. Like, I pushed the transform button because we had rolls, and I turned into, I don't know, I think it was chicken. And I was running around, and I didn't realize it had like a countdown to tell you when it was going to be over, and then it would put you back in the bubble and turn you back into your normal person. And so I'm trying to run away to find somewhere, and he was watching me, and I turned into the bubble. No, you think that you're going to get away with anything or get any sympathy from this man in a game that he knows how to play? You are not. Not at all. Not.
Never.
Like, the whole night, he just absolutely stomped everybody. And it's like, okay. Okay, Bach plays this game. I got it. Okay.
It's my like, I'm going to play like a round or two because everyone else has gone to bed at this point because I got fucking home late.
So,
I usually do that with
I
Aaron,
have noticed
which
you
is
jump
alright.
into it quite a bit lately, and I just thought it was interesting that we played it, and everybody's like, "Ooh, this is different. I don't remember doing this." And Baga's like, "It's this person because I saw this thing. It's this person for this reason. I saw them do this thing on the
when
map,"
you
and it's like,
shift in and out of the egg thing for the shapeshifter. But whatever color the egg is, that's the color of the person that's
I
the
didn't
imposter.
know, and I also didn't know it was on a timer, so it ran out at an inopportune time. I was unaware of how that worked. So.
I'm following you, actually. It was more of like I happened to run across you, but while you were in the middle of shape-shifting, and I was like, oh, okay, it's good.
And there's like nothing you can do about it. Although I will say it worked out to my advantage a little bit because I think it was Virtue that we were playing with was like, I just don't know if I can believe that. I don't know. And he like wouldn't take a strong stance on it, so I think I got to pass the first round, and then Baka destroyed me anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I refrain from tryharding some of those games. To be honest, I have let people go in first class trouble far more than people realize. Like I will have your ass dead to rights, and I walk away. Yeah, now for sure.
Chaos. I'm pure chaos. That's
He still is. He and Snitty are both chaos in that game. Just
if I'm the killer, you won't make it. Like either I'm not making it out of the second round, or you're not making it out of the second round, because second round is where it happens. So if I'm it's happening. If I make it to the third round, it's not me, except for the one time that I don't do anything and I bait the shit out of everybody until winning the game at the end. But
you douche.
It's so satisfying.
Is it?
is.
Yes.
But
I
yeah,
still need to push grip in the fire next time we play first class trouble. Whether I'm in or not.
That's like,
whether
that's
I'm in or not.
unsolicited. Like, I didn't even do anything, and here we go.
You killed me.
It was my job.
It was my job over there. You were supposed to die.
I'm also annoyed, like everyone. I was like, it's grip. Oh my god, it's grip, and nobody fucking followed me to chase you down. I was like, really?
Sometimes that happens like that.
First Class Trouble is the best deduction game out there, in my opinion. I think it's on sale too. Probably.
Well, nobody plays
Just
it,
wish
so you
that
better
it
have
wasn't
a group.
a dead game.
Yeah,
it is a
better
dead
have
game,
a group of
but
6. You and 5 friends.
It's so good though. Like I said,
to be fair,
the
I'd
best
rather play
deduction
those
game.
kinds of games with people I know, because I think that makes it more fun than somebody that I have no context for anything on. It's like, I can't trust you anyway. I don't know who you are. Sorry.
Did that one game ever come out that was it was like the witches and the penguins or whatever it was?
I don't know.
You know
It was a.
It's on my wish list still, and it is.
Okay, so it's not out yet because you would know, right?
Spookaboo?
Well, I haven't
I
clicked
can't
it.
remember what it's called.
I'm opening up Steam.
It had a
I'll find
kind of
out.
cutesy name, but I don't remember what it was. I mean, I remember playing it, but that game definitely, hopefully, had some balance done before it actually came out, because some of that was not balanced.
Sneak Out.
Sneak Out.
Yeah, Sneak Out. Yep.
It's free to play.
Oh.
And yeah, it's out. It's been out. It came out exactly 1 year ago.
Oh. Yeah, we did that demo that
up
one
to
time.
six-
And
There's
Up
a
to 6
founder's
players.
pack.
Yeah, $12 you can buy it. But yeah, it's a 6-player game. It was a little brutal though. Maybe they balanced it quite a bit, but it was absolutely brutal.
yeah. Well.
But yeah, we can always try it again.
Yeah, it was definitely brutal.
It was hard to play as the normal person. The killer, you just ran around and just murked everybody.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But we played it last year or the year before. I don't remember exactly when.
Now Chicken's staring into
fun.
our souls. I like when he looks at his main monitor because that's what it feels like, staring into our soul.
It's right into your soul.
I don't have one, so I'm not bothered by it.
That's fine. I'll stare into the void. You think I'm afraid of that? That's right.
Oh god, I hope that this is the thumbnail.
Yes.
And then he freezes like that and we don't realize it because
He's doing a pretty good job.
He is.
Hurry, screenshot it. I need to take a picture of this. There we go.
Now it's Chicken's phone background too. Great.
Yes.
Nugget and I have been replaced.
Yes. There we go.
Uh,
You said what?
And
just
it's a new
make
meme
that in the
template.
background, not even in the rest of us, just that.
Yeah,
Yes.
just that. That's the background.
That's our thumbnail.
And if you want to be real clickbaity, put the title as Bacchus said what?
Do we have anything else? No.
Not that I know
No.
of.
I
Okay.
don't know. Good hour and a
We
half
good?
episode.
Yep. I gotta go start getting ready for dinner.
Awesome. Well, we do appreciate everybody that hangs out with us every other week on Infinite Respawn. Make sure that you hit that sub button as well as that little bell for notifications. So anytime one of those go live, you get that notification. For Infinite Respawn, I'm Oak Tree.
I'm Griff.
I'm Chicken.
Bug it.
Bye.
ya.
Bye.